Soul Garden.
Hello, your Royal Majesty, and welcome back to Soul Horoscopes Weekly Update from my webcam to yours. I'm Christopher Witecki, your host to the universe. I'm also the co-host of the first annual Miss Lilith Catwalk Costume Contest at soulgarden.me. This is based on the asteroid Lilith, if you don't know, which allegedly represents in your chart a place of repressed rage or feminine repression. It could be an issue with mom, it could be an issue with your sister, it could be an issue with your inner child. It can be basically repressed female aggression. And by female, your ability to give and receive in the Venus sense. So it happens to men, it happens to women. And we're going to use this as a therapeutic way to just express ourselves and dress up for Halloween. So we're having a contest. And someone is going to be Miss Lilith of the Year. I should say Ms. Lilith. Lilith, by the way, in mythology goes back to Adam and Eve. Well, Adam's first wife. Did you know? No wonder Lilith is pissed. Well, this is going to be a fun contest, and we are not being sexist. Men can enter. I will even be showing up, reporting to the witch doctor, who is the host of this formal show we're going to put on, and I have to be shirtless and in costume. Yeah, poor me. But the point is to express your inner Lilith. So come on down, soulgarden.me to find out more. Our slogan is, May the Beth Lilith win. Now, that said, we, Your Majesty, are in a very powerful week. We're going to transition out of a 3-year lesson and transition into a 3-year lesson. For the last 3 years, Leos have been working on your attitude, your thoughts, and strangely enough, you know, Leos are usually unfair to themselves in their mind and have been beating themselves up with their mind and letting their mind, you know, be preoccupied with finding the problem. And the joke is there is no problem. The problem is you're looking for one. That's how the mind works. It's a jokester, a Gemini. It's always twinning you. And hopefully you're going to get on top of that this week, which is your overall master shui of it, which is your attitude. Your attitude where emotion and intellect run free based on the principles of a lot of groundwork, all right? Then we shift into the next 3-year lesson, which is your emotions. So you just wrapped up thoughts, then you're going to move to emotions. Really the two quintessential parts of manifestation. You got to have them both on the same team. I would say emotions more important than thoughts, though thoughts can be, as you found out, quite stifling. So we're stepping into the master shui, where emotion and intellect come together into passion, and we come into Fun Day Sunday Overlap Day. It is an Earth Day, it's a Taurus rule day, and you're basically squatting on your new attitude, your new intellectual attitude that you're going to surrender to. You are very hyper aware of your surroundings, your health, etc., as the moon is making your reality more passionate. So Sunday might be a test of patience to some degree. One thing you should know, the sun is already conjuncting Saturn, which means that as you graduate the master shui of attitude, you must take responsibility for nurturing the parts of yourself that you love. That's the first chapter. So you must stand up and baby your inner child. We'll talk more about this in a little bit, but I have to say it now so you know. Then on Monday, it's a test of that attitude. And the test of attitude probably manifests in some sort of a relations conflict, says the planets. The moon is in Aquarius, pulling emotions to issues of partnership, relationship, marriage, etc., strategic alliance, your marriage, how you marry yourself, all the above. So somewhere there is probably the trigger. But remember, the lesson is the master shui and holding that attitude up. On top of that, the Pluto Libra generation is graduating their childhood karma as of now. So good work, Pluto Librans. You are graduating your childhood issues. In other words, what you were raised under, you can now step out of for good and say goodbye. And hopefully you turned your legacy in a new direction. It was tough. I know. I was part of it too. Now, the sun today is, at the end of the day, at 29 degrees, the final tested degree. So you want to honor your emotion. You want to honor the attitude you subscribe to, and you want to just move forward and put that attitude into play. Risk being a fool. Risk being an empress with no clothes. Risk it all. Notice Saturn at 2 degrees, so you're getting very emotional about emotions. And that is part of the next lesson, but don't get too caught up in it today. Congratulations, Pluto Librans. On Tuesday, it's 0 degrees. You know, 0 means 0, the no man's land between two states of awareness. In this case, no man's land between 6 years of spiritual growth, stepping away from 3 years, stepping toward 3 years. Very, very powerful day in that regard. 0 is a no man's land, and death consciousness is very present, heavily present on this day. This is not Halloween. This is not someone dying. although some people do die on a Pluto day, ironically. They needed the push, I think, if that happens. But I think this is really about killing off the old 3-year lesson. So killing off the attitude, killing off the fights, killing off all the games of regret and mind games, and it just dies. You just burn it. And then allow that death to be a rebirth. And in this case, it's going to be a rebirth of your emotional state of awareness. Your emotions are going to rebirth. Ironically, on this emotional day, you are numb. That's my prediction, due to the fact that you're shifting from thoughts to emotion. Now, emotions themselves are technically focused on relationships, mirrors and relationships, and so it might still be through some sort of partnership that you're feeling this. But let's look at the transition. This is the map for the consciousness of I protect when you're a Leo. I protect, first of all, is Scorpio. Scorpio is the consciousness we use as souls to protect ourselves, basically to draw boundaries. And when we draw boundaries, we separate ourselves and define our shape, define our character, define our uniqueness. In most cases, these are emotional boundaries where we will stop our emotion and say, no, it stops here, which is hard. It takes a lot of sophistication. Now, when you're a Leo or a Leo rising, you use the Scorpio energy, the protect energy, to protect your emotions, all right? So you are the most protective over anything in your life, over your lovers, over your money, over anything, your feelings. And boy, is that true. Oh my God. You heard a Leo's heart or their emotions are like, oh, no, 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 oh, no. They go running away. Oh, no, no, I'm mine. They start protecting their emotions on their own and retreat. And that's part of the pride and all of that. So the way you protect your emotions is where things need to change the most in the next 3 years. And in the next 9 days, you're going to be looking at your emotions and where they are protected or not. It is up to a Leo to be the guardian over their own feelings. It's the only way you can stay pure as a light in which planets rotate around you. You cannot put your emotions on the planets. It will screw up their orbits. It'll screw up your fan base. It'll screw up your life. Your emotions are your responsibility to guard and protect. No Leo is happy with the way they're raised completely, and there's a reason for that. No one can do it better than you. So emotions is the first 9 days. Self-nurturing, the skill set of how well we can take care of our emotions, is the next. And then finally, that gives you a sense of security or not security, and you'd be surprised how much you feel secure in the world when you are managing your own emotions and standing up for yourself. I'm talking to myself here. I have a Leo rising. You hear me, Witecki? You hear me? So that said, as we start on Overlap Sunday, no, I'm way lost here in time. So when we come back on Wednesday at 1 degree, I was channeling if you don't know, at 1 degree, you are beginning this transit. So how you feel on Wednesday is very much indicative not to relationships, because notice the moon is still in Aquarius, so you are sentimental and you might be putting this all on romance and love, and I'm probably going to be the same way, like, oh, you know. But the point is it's really about your emotions. If you're single or not single, if you're happily married or not happily married, how well do you manage your emotions? How much do you put that emotional burden on other people, right? You are royalty. You are supposed to be totally spoiled, except with emotions, you're supposed to handle those on your own. Okay, so this is the one part. So sunny and sentimental, sunny and sappy in that direction, but the question is, where are you emotionally? See the moon way over here. Now, woohoo, we're going to go to Sunday, fun day. On Thursday, it gets even more emotional. That's because the moon is ruling the day. The moon moves into the house of trust and intimacy, so it's out of relationships and now into bow, chicka, bow, wow. And on top of that, on this moon ruled day, today on Thursday, we have the Sun conjuncting Saturn. What does this mean? Well, Saturn in Scorpio is the 3-year transit where you're going to learn how to nurture yourself appropriately. You're going to end up replanting yourself out of a family-based unit into a new family-based unit. This is a conceptual family-based unit. In some cases, people will be moving literally into a new base family or starting families or getting pregnant and getting married, and all that contributes to a new nest. But on this day, how you feel on Thursday, it's important because Saturn and the Sun only conjunct once a year. And on this day, the Sun, I love, conjunct Saturn, I decide. So on this day, we decide what we love. In your case, you're deciding what you love or don't love emotionally about yourself. That is, what you show up for in love in your emotions or not. And whatever you do or don't is kind of an imprint, a smack on the back, which kind of sets ground zero for the self-nurturing emotional transit. So it's not that you can fake it till you make it on Thursday, but you should really be hyper aware of the truth about how much you should love yourself. You should show up for yourself extra, but you should notice where you were reluctant to, because that's where your lessons are going to be. Then we get to Friday. Now Friday, things feel pretty good. Sunny and content. The moon is still pretty sensitive in trust intimacy issues, and that's the other thing about the moon. On that sensitive day yesterday, your moon was sensitive with trust intimacy. I forgot to say that, excuse me. But on Friday, Jupiter rules the day, the sun comes out, we're feeling good. The moon is feeling much more secure in the higher echelons of trust intimacy, which is security or transformation or alchemy or intimacy. And Jupiter rules the day, which is optimism. So the universe is saying, hey, come on, things can get better. So you might explore a new home, or explore where you might move, or explore where it is in your emotions that need extra support. Really, truly exploring. And I think you are sunny and content on this day. Looking at the planets, the moon will transition into Aries, and what's important to know is it's going to cross Uranus, which means somewhere in your beliefs you're going to be let down, or there'll be a breakdown in beliefs in the next 24 hours. I say that because the next day, is the hard one, Uranus. On Saturday, showers, chance of panic. Yes, I have to say panic. I don't want you to panic, but the really way to summarize the worst this can be would be a panic. That's because it's a panic of emotion itself. We're working on how well you self-nurture your emotions. And so the universe, in order to demonstrate how good or bad you are at it, is going to create a bit of an earthquake, something that rocks your ability to nurture your emotions. It's kind of a test, only a test, of your own emotional emergency broadcast system. However, it won't feel like a test, okay? Now that said, looking at the planets, the universe is playing a little dirty. On the one hand, Uranus rules the day, which means there will be an emotional breakdown, which attributes to the Saturn issue, which means Saturn makes it oh so much heavier, which means things that were on the verge of breaking down for a long time finally break down. So it's probably not surprising, but it is disappointing. But sucker punch from the universe, an opposition of major planets on the same day of Uranus. Thanks, God, universe. Mars in Sagittarius means your inner child is blazing forward. You want love. You want creativity. You want everything in your personal heart to have happen, okay? You've been moving forward and hard on that. Suddenly it's entangled with what? It is entangled with something in the world. So it's possible that the emotional test of faith happens actually with Jupiter retrograde caught up in the conflicts of Mars. Now here's the thing. When it comes to your place in the world, Your Majesty, you will not figure this out to the end, mid-2013. And so this is actually something you have to forgive and forget. Mars saying your heart wants to have happiness now. Yes, indeed it does. So this opposition is, hey, go for what your heart wants, but it may be a minor broken heart. And what would test your own emotional ability to self-nurture other than a broken heart? So a possible minor broken heart. On top of that, the moon crosses Uranus, which is that whole holy shift. I thought I knew, I thought I believed, I thought. So the universe really plays dirty with boom, 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 a triple punch on a Uranus day to basically set into motion your Saturn self-nurture relationship karma, right? Self with yourself, how you nurture yourself or don't. Then on fun day Sunday, not so fun day, overlap Sunday, Mercury rules the day, so it's breakthrough. You're cloudy, you're super self-reflective. The earth has stopped shaking, and you are beginning to think and reflect and move back from there. One thing you should know is that Venus is offline on this day, so you have to give and receive to yourself on this Sunday. And secondly, it's moving into Libra, which means that all the work you did with attitude will pay off. Allow your mind to respond positively to anything your emotions are dealing with. Now that it's time to work on your emotions, let your mind be the strong one. And that's what Venus is heading to do, but not until Monday. So hold steady, Your Majesty. All right, that's all I have for this 7-day forecast. Make sure if you want to hang out with Lions, we have Lions live on Wednesday nights. We've got 2 Lions, 3 Lions, and then Carolyn. It's all these Lions. It's Lions Dead, and it's a love night. So come in Wednesday nights. We have therapy for the Leos and everyone else who wants love from the Leos, but there's a lot of manis and petties going on. And I will see you back in 7 days more. Until then, Your Majesty, live, love, be. Having a hard time with love lasting long enough? How often is your first date your last date? Have you noticed that your relationships last no more than 2 days? They say love never lasts, but in your case, it doesn't even start. Your birthday is a secret soul security number. We know everything about you, how you love, how you lust, and how you like to be lusted by. In one video, you'll understand what you're looking for in love and what you offer. Secrets of Birthdays, now available at secretsofbirthdays.com.